Good morning, everyone. My name is Cici Mercer, and I'm from Athens Habitat. I've been there for about 5 years. I worked with them I'm an attorney, and I worked with them as a closing attorney for about 20 years before that. And I am I'm considered the business manager. That's my official title, but I sort of do a lot of everything.
And I'm Cary Ritzler. I am in the affordable housing program at Athens Land Trust. I'm in the position of interim director right now, and I have a background in education. Actually, I taught elementary school for 10 years, and now switching careers and working in affordable housing, and I absolutely love it.
We have 4 programs that are aimed towards helping low-income families in Athens, Clark County. We have a repair program called Brush with Kindness, and we have people come and apply, and basically, as long as the project is under $5,000, we are able to help with repairs, modifications. The only requirement is that they are homeowners in Athens, Clark County. We also do something called eHARP, which is our accessible housing modifications. We do build ramps, we do bathroom modifications, and we try to make it so people can age in place and not have to move out of their homes. That's a lot of what I do. We also have affordable rentals, which we have 41 units currently, and it is based on income, and the requirement there is that there's an $1,100 per month minimum income, and basically our tenants pay about $300 a month in rent or somewhere around that. And our goal is to help folks become homeowners, getting that financial stability that they may need for a couple of years. Sometimes they're not quite qualified for the homeownership program, but they are able to move into the homeownership program from our tenants. And that's really, that's our graduation process, and we get really excited when we have a tenant who is able to achieve homeownership. Our homeownership program is, I think, unique. Our partners, basically, what they put in is 500 hours of this mask.
I think while you're speaking,
I have a whole face. Whoa. Our homeownership program is great. We basically partner with our homeowners. The homeowners put in $500, and then they put in 500 hours of what we call sweat equity. The first 200 are working on other people's houses. And we have, in the beginning of the process, we have you work 3 days on the construction. This is pre-COVID. Post-COVID, things are just, we're feeling our way through this. But we have you work 3 days on the construction site to give you an idea of what you're getting into, because it sounds like it's a free house, but it's not. And it's a lot of work, but it is so rewarding at the end. I have to tell you that doing a home ownership closing is, it really brings tears to my eyes, because we're so proud of our homeowners, and it is why we do what we do. So you put in the 200 hours of sweat equity on other people's homes, and then you put in 300 hours on your home. And at the end of the day, our program is that we provide a 0 interest loan, and it's usually for 25 years, but it's 0 interest. So your payments end up being about, with taxes and insurance, somewhere between $380 to $450. And you have a home that you can pass down to your children and that provides generational wealth, which is what we're really aiming for. It's a great program, and we don't build as many as we'd like, especially with COVID. We haven't been able to use volunteers as often at all. But once we get back in the swing of things, we try to build 2 houses from the ground up a year. So the need is great, as we know here in Athens, and the accessibility is tough, but that's what we're hoping to accomplish for our homeowners and for our tenants.
Oh, well, I'm just glad to learn more about Habitat's program. So I was sitting here taking notes. So I'm glad to be here. Okay, I'm going to take my mask off. Feel really like I'm living on the edge here. So Athens Land Trust has several programs, and actually, if I have some handouts. These handouts, I mentioned to our staff that I was going to a seminar with real life people, and they were like, take our flyers. So I'm including in that packet sort of the whole Athens Land Trust programming right now. But the top page is what I'm going to focus on, which are the top 2 pages are the affordable housing program and the education and empowerment program, because we have our 2 main housing efforts, affordable housing efforts, go through those 2 departments. So the first program is the affordable housing program, which I am directing, and we operate on, it's a unique form of home ownership called a community land trust. Community land trusts have been around for around 50 years, over 50 years. Actually started in Georgia, and were started by some folks who were involved in the civil rights movement, wanting to build up some community land to establish some wealth and control over their property and build a farm. And that was in South Georgia. It's a really interesting history of how that initial land trust started. They had some problems going along, and then they have restarted their program recently to have that original community land trust in Georgia. The Athens Land Trust is just one of many community land trusts in the country, but we are the only land trust that has both affordable housing community land trust and a regular land trust that is more focused on conservation throughout the state. So these are really 2 very separate arms. I'm going to talk about the community land trust model of home ownership. In the community land trust model of home ownership, the nonprofit community land trust owns the land and sells the house. And there's a few reasons to do that, but the main reason is to preserve long-term affordability of that property. So you can separate the cost of the home from the cost of the land. We lease the land to the homeowner through a 99-year ground lease. The ground lease has a couple of stipulations in it. One is that then homeowners pay a very small fee to the land trust for the land. It's $5 a month right now, which comes out to $60 per year. And there's a resale formula in the ground lease, so that if people who have bought a home through Athens Land Trust then want to sell their home, they can resell it and they can make a profit off of the land, but there's a limit to how much they can resell the house for And the reason for that is, again, because our aim is to preserve affordability long-term. We want the community land trust land to be affordable to help the first homeowner. If they decide to pass it on to their children, they can pass it on through the ground lease. They can use their land any way that a normal homeowner could. Just if they decide to sell, we want that land and that property to help the next family. So it would stay permanently affordable in the community. So that's a unique form of homeownership, and I feel like it's a great way to build community. As part of the Athens Land Trust, people have an opportunity to be involved in the larger organization. We have homeowners that serve on our board and serve on the housing committee to steer the development of new housing options and give us guidance on making any decisions about housing. The idea of the community land trust is that the folks living on that land, are working together to manage the land in whatever capacity they want to, in terms of being neighbors, taking care of their personal property under the ground lease, whatever. So the requirements that we have for entering our program are, if you look at the bottom of your page, it has income limits. We serve people who have 80% or less of area median income. So on that chart, it shows you if you have one person in a house this year, if you are under $36,300 per year of your income, then you would qualify for our program. If you have two people, it's $41,450, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the major qualification to apply to our program, is to be within those income limits. There's more information on here about how to contact. I did include cards on yours. The top card is Marquita Richardson. She manages our homeowner program. She is the main point of contact for anyone who has questions about the application process. If you come and get an application from us or call her, she will send you one. She'll call you back and meet with you and talk you through your program. She is a certified HUD counselor, so housing counselor, so she can just give you the whole story of what it's going to involve to purchase a home. She looks at credit scores and can just give tons of advice on how to proceed once you apply. The second page and the other arm of our homeowner programming is in a different department. It's in the Department of Education and Empowerment. And through that program, we offer home buyer education courses. And the only reason that I'm here and not Marquita is because she is giving a home buyer education course today. These are on Saturday. They are 8-hour courses. It costs $10 to register. These, unlike the affordable housing program, are open to anyone of any income level. There's a $10 fee to register, but it's for an 8-hour course with Aisha is in that department. She's the HUD certified HUD housing counselor in that department. I've heard, I haven't attended one, but I plan to, because everyone that's gone, regardless of whether they've owned a home for 10 years or they are just thinking about purchasing a home, have said it is a wealth of information about how the process works and what to expect when you're going through a homeownership of any kind. So that we have our clients who are interested in the community land trust model. They attend those courses, but it's open to anyone. So if you're interested in homeownership through any program, through Habitat or just on the private market, I would encourage you to sign up for one of those. They're given monthly. I feel like I've talked a lot, but I just want to, bring your attention to the kind of information we collect with the application and what to bring to the appointment, and our office phone number is down there, but due to COVID, the best number to call would be Marquita, which is the top card there. I include my card because I love to talk to people. So you're welcome to call me. I manage more of the construction side and planning for new developments. So you're more than welcome to call me, but if it's about applications and about the homeownership program, I would encourage you to give Marquita a call. So.
For us, it's when you apply. We encourage you to make more money. That's we want you to succeed. So we're not going to say, well, if you make $41,000, we're going to kick you out. But it's for our program as well. We're at the 50 to 80% of median income. That's our target homeowner. We find that's the success rate, and for Habitat, over 80%. We're not allowed to do over 80%. But if you are successful, that's what we want. And we want you to grow. The idea is that you fly, not that we are squishing you down.
Yeah, that's absolutely the same in our program. The intention is for families to be able to build wealth through home ownership and either pass their home down or pass on that wealth. So it's when you apply and begin the program, and then you have to have you have to be within that income limit. But as soon as you're in the house, then or as soon as we've completed that process, then we hope that people will be able to use this as a jumping off point to build more wealth for their family.
Right now, we have a number of lots that we are looking at doing in development and following children through school to see how the stability helps the kids. And that's going to be focused on the east side, where we are building our first concrete house in Stonehenge, and that should be breaking ground sometime this year. So that's very exciting. And we've built 2 kind of tiny homes off of Hawthorne Extension or off of Hawthorne Avenue. So we have houses sort of everywhere. It's basically where do we have land, and where do our home buyers want to live. The one who's getting the concrete house, we had a rehab available on the east side, but she really wanted to live on the west side. So we have the west side property that she's able to get into.
It's the same for Athens Land Trust. We have a few neighborhoods that we serve, really in a broader sense, with many programs in our organization, focusing on the West Broad neighborhood. But we also have developments and then like single properties throughout the whole county. They are all in Athens Park County. One of the ways we acquire land is if someone wants to sell land, but they want to make sure that it gets into the hands of an affordable, of a low-income family. Maybe they've owned it for many years. They want to preserve their neighborhood. They don't want to sell it to a developer who they don't, trust to just build a house that's in line with how the neighborhood is. So we have, scattered properties like that throughout, and we will be, building new houses too, and we have some larger tracts of land where we'll be building larger developments over the next few years. So again, I encourage you to fill out an application if that's a form of homeownership that's interesting to you, because we are going to be building our waiting lists for these larger neighborhoods, and we want to start working with people so that they can be making decisions and be involved in the construction process, help us make design choices, and paint
colors, all of those things. So, and we also, as we want you to live where you want to live. So, we've had people say like, that's not the house I want to live in. It's like shopping for a house, like we show it. Do you like it? No. If not, then we'll help you find something else and show you another property when we have it available.
Unfortunately, I think for our programs, usually we get the homeless folks into our rentals if we can. We find that the income level sometimes is a barrier for homeless folks. And for us, an eviction isn't necessarily a non-starter, for lack of a better word. We look at the overall. So if there was an eviction 5 years ago and everything has been good since, then we take that into account. So it's not real. We look more at the credit report than at the credit score for our program. But we do find that the folks that are staying in the in-town suites who are being shafted, for lack of a better word, those folks are usually getting help from churches and are not able to pay that $320 a week themselves, and so they don't really fall into the 50 to 80% that we are looking for homeownership.
Yeah, I mean, we accept applications from, people in any kind of housing situation. And, we get calls frequently from people who are homeless or who are about to, who are on the edge. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of, Athens Land Trust doesn't have immediate housing. We don't provide emergency housing. So we try to refer people back to the homelessness programs that are existing, and encourage people to call around. We're always sorry that we can't help more in those situations, but I welcome the cooperation. So I know there's some folks in here who are in the working with the homeless populations, and if anyone runs into a family that I know sometimes, someone has moved in with their family members and they may have income, but they haven't found a place, so we just welcome people to apply. We want to work with people. We can always do homeowner counseling, refer folks to that if they're not ready quite for the program. But we'll do everything we can to help